A little over a year ago, I made a video dissecting how Aabria Iyengar runs a TTRPG based solely off her work DMing Dimension 20's Misfits and Magic. And though the audio quality on that video isn't the best, I stand by the content of it. However, in the last year, I've consumed 3 more projects involving Aabria. These being A Court of Fey and Flowers, The Ravening War, and Worlds Beyond Numbers, The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One. And let me tell you, though I'm a proponent of the belief that Emily Axford is the greatest D&D player alive, I think Aabria gives her a run for her money. This video will contain spoilers for each of the campaigns I mentioned earlier, but mainly individually for most of the video. First of all, I was right. A Court of Fey and Flowers saw Aabria giving her players more freedom than ever before, letting them make big game decisions on top of big character ones. She continues to have a skill that many other GMs, myself included, find it hard to master: relinquishing control. You're a GM because you have control issues. I know I'm the same way. But in the same way she does that so well, she does something else: make her players uncomfortable. In the good way, not the creepy guy at the table way. Look, I love making my players squirm when I describe bone snapping under the tension of some vines or watching one of my close friends tear up after rolling terribly on a stealth check as much as the next guy, but Aabria, with ease mind you, puts her players in wildly uncomfortable situations. The Regency setting helps, sure, but the amount of social tension and anxiety that comes out of some of these scenes has me holding my breath, and she is ready and waiting throughout all of it. In fact, she's feeding into it. Spoiler warning for A Court of Fey and Flowers. I want to talk about the letter burning scene. This is one of the best scenes in the series, and Oscar and Aabria are everything, and this cast is so talented. But this scene in particular I really want to talk about. Here, Aabria lets Oscar as Rue cast command, because she's not going to stop this, but she makes sure he knows the consequence of this, talking about the tear forming in Wovey's eye. But here's the part that gets me. Most GMs in this situation have Wovey go and recite the letter and fold a Hob. They stir the pot between Rue and Wovey. But not Aabria. Aabria has Wovey go to Hob and challenge him to a duel. Aabria takes this character who could have been a simple assistant and creates a complex, layered character out of her. Even the best DMs don't do this. Why? Because it's scary to do. It's a hard choice to choose to create this gray character who, in their eyes, is doing the right thing, but we only see it as wrong because of who the PCs are. In the game where Wovey is the PC and Rue and Hob are NPCs, Wovey is the hero who defends Rue's honor. But not here, because of our perspective. And no one else does this. I'm not doing this. At every given moment while I'm DMing, I'm so scared that even one of my friends is not having at least a fine time at any given moment that I'm in a constant state of panic. And yet here's Aabria on one of the largest actual play shows on the planet in front of a cast of all-stars, just stirring away the pot of her own creation. This is insanity, this is skill, and this is one example from a season that's absolutely full of them. Aabria manages to create tension between Rue and Wovey, Hob and Wovey, and Rue and Hob in one moment of genius. And you haven't even seen her as a player yet. Spoiler warning for The Ravening War. Playing a rogue is tricky business, especially in a high-stakes espionage thriller, and double-crossing your team will usually get you more than one sentence in any dungeon court. But Aabria doesn't kill her teammates, and she doesn't even directly hurt them. The excuse of, "it's what my character would do," can only take you so far, but I want you to think about Karna and what she would actually do. She would survive by any means necessary, because in her eyes, that's all she can do. The scene where Karna reveals the existence of Amago's heir to Tamate is the scene I want to hone in on for this part, because as much as it is a betrayal, it is a secret one, and one that, if it pays off, creates a terribly difficult situation for everyone involved. She is willingly putting herself in what could be one of the hardest spots to roleplay in ever. Look, I've DM'd myself into a corner before with characters I realized that I don't actually want to play, but at that point it's too late. But this isn't that. This is Aabria making a conscious choice to betray a member of the party in order that the political intrigue might pay off later. People don't do this to themselves willingly. These things get thrust upon them by a DM, but she went to do this scene because she wanted to, and this isn't even the best example of this. Spoiler warning for The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One. You should be listening to Worlds Beyond Number. They just wrapped up their first arc, and it's fantastic, and you need to listen to it. But if for nothing else, because Lou Wilson makes baby bear-like creature noises, and because there was a moment where I out loud said, "Oh yeah, Erika Ishii is a voice actor." Let me just say, the character dynamics in The Wizard, the Witch, and the Wild One can only and do only exist in a space between friends where each feels safe to check in with one another. Beyond that, Suvi as a character can only exist when Aabria Iyengar is playing her. I think Suvi is one of the best D&D characters I've ever seen. Like, every decision Aabria makes is so unbelievably in character that I know I couldn't do it. Playing a character that is so completely and utterly different from what the other characters in the campaign expect her to be and think she is insane in the best way possible. From the killing of the captain to every time she invokes the name of the Citadel, Aabria locks in who Suvi is in this world. And then she hits Ame with the "don't ever contradict me in front of people again," and you realize this character is something special. Religious trauma is nothing new for D&D characters, and one of my other favorite characters of all time has it in droves, but it's another thing to see a character who is still indoctrinated into the system show her old friends who she has become. I know the Citadel is closer to governmental system indoctrination, but I see issues with organized religion everywhere, so sue me, I guess. The few times that Suvi and Ame get into full fights with each other, both Erica and Aabria are making decisions that are difficult. And although how Erica portrays Ame is another video entirely and is amazing in its own right, it is worth noting that when situations escalate, it is Suvi who escalates them, and this is on purpose and in character. This is Aabria showing us that Suvi doesn't back down from getting called out. She retaliates, she claps back, which makes every scene with Steel so much better. This character is complex, and Aabria makes the hard choices to make her compelling and to make you both root for her and say, "Oh my gosh, please can't you open your eyes to the magical classism that you're perpetuating throughout the world you live in, and please be nicer to Ame," and probably Ursulon too. That's the point. She's flawed, and that is what makes her so good and makes Aabria so talented. It is hard to make your character flawed because you inherently want your characters to be great. Everyone wants to play a hero, but Aabria has presented us with a decision she's made to show Suvi grow from the beginning, and oh my gosh, this character is so good, and I feel like I can only scratch the surface on her because we're only 14 episodes in. It's her comment on great spirits and staying in the spirit realm, it's her threatening the Azure Battalion, and her immediate jump to Ame is using the Fox as an excuse to do whatever she wants. Aabria is presenting us with this flawed character, and I, for one, am here to watch her grow, fail, and learn, because if anyone is going to make the choices to give us one of the best character arcs in an actual play show, it's Aabria Iyengar, Public Defender, Supreme Crit Justice, and one of the best TTRPG players I've ever seen. Thanks for watching. Also, Aabria, if you're watching this, hi!